What is up, legends? We are back, and what we'll do in this particular video is I want to talk about tanks. But it's a big topic in my Discord. It's a big topic in the main Discord and in the comment section, and everybody wants to know what's the best tank, what's this, that, and the third. I have one prerequisite for tanks in this game that I found to work pretty well. Now, I will say right off the bat, this is my opinion. There's no guide anywhere for this or anything else like this. I'm just using my years of gacha experience and RPG experience to gauge this, and I will tell you why. So, the more powerful the tank, obviously, who I like just to begin it, but I'm going to explain why and why she's so useful and why, and this current iteration of the game, why she's the best right now, next to Bison. Bison is probably all around just better, but as far as scalability on the tank, she's the best one. Now, we're going to go in and actually talk about the other tanks because I want to, break it down. We'll start with Bison first. Now, Bison, technically, he is a DPS. He's not even really considered a tank, but when he comes in the first slot, upon entering the battle, deals soul damage equal to 144% of attack to all enemies. So the minute that he show up in battle, you nuking somebody, and this is scalability. Again, 144% of attack. So the better gear that you have, the bigger that nuke's gonna be. That's just literally for him showing up. And Bison becomes immune to damage for 3 seconds and restores 40% of the max HP. Unleashes Return of the Inferno. So pretty much when he gets killed, he revives and then he nukes you again. On top of that, dealing soul damage equal to 265% of attack to all enemies. After unleashing Return of the Inferno for the first time, and Bison enters Inferno King status, which lasts until the end of battle, which is just ridiculous. And as you can see down, it just gets better and better from here. He's just a broke character, like all the way around. So he does weaken, basically. Decreases the attack by 5% for 15 seconds, stacks up to 10 times on base, so that's just what he does. And then Inferno King increases damage to 30%. Now, this one passive right here basically makes him a tank, but what he really is a DPS. And he's a DPS that has slot advantage with 1 and slot advantage with 3. Now, if you look at the second part of the passive right here, holds the nearest target in the air, strikes 3 times, dealing damage equal to 398% of attack to it. Also converts 20% of damage to M. Bison's HP. So automatically having him first, like he's just god tier tank, like all the way around when it comes to that. However, he can be killed, so you could essentially one-shot him, basically into forcing him to do that thing, even though he's gonna cheese and come back to life and stuff like this. But what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to have 2 straight nukes back to back that just kind of like smush M. Bison, and it's really cheesy, but there's ways around it that you can actually just wreck him down for the most part. His counter is actually just not even in the game right now, which is unfortunate. I was saying that in the stream, but he right now he has no real counter because you can't really stop him from doing any of that stuff. But in the future, you can strip him, and then it is what it is. But it's just right now that his whole thing is just not in there. So that's Bison, better all around tank. If I had to pick between him and Makoto, I would pick Bison, but I still think Makoto is a better tank overall because he really isn't tanking anything, he's cheesing. So let's go to Abel. Abel, passive wise, has whenever the fighter skills generate, so he has a shield. Now the problem with the shield is it doesn't get scalability until level 4. So you see it stacks up to 10 times, and White Eye gains defense bonus and 3% attack bonus, 10 stacks up to 5 times, which is also pretty good. He has some scalability and everything else like that, but again, it doesn't get the real scalability until it gets to level 4. It does so right now. And I would put him behind Makoto right now. So definitely no slouch. He gets dodge up right there, and the shield now blocks. So if you need like a good tank out there, I would put him second behind Makoto. You have Tornado Throw again. He's all about shielding and everything else. But the problem with me with the shielding, because I used to try him a lot because I thought all of this was cool. Shield going like in 2 hits. It's like they fart on the shield and it goes away. So that's why I became kind of disenchanted with him. But he's still a good unit, and you can still make use out of him in wind if you want to go for wind tank. Next up is T-Hawk. T-Hawk will be right behind when it comes to that, because as you can see right here, he gets additional resistance and deals damage equal to 575% chance to the total, but also grants the enemy effect resistance, so they can resist stuff at the same time. And then you go over the Tribal Warrior, increases defense by 60% for 10 seconds when a debuff is resisted. So here's the thing. Scalability, he probably has the best because his defense is the highest and he gets the highest bonus. However, if you are not resisting anything and you get unlucky and don't get resisted by anything, or if the enemy side isn't doing anything that you need to resist, then all of that is useless. And there's plenty of units in this game that just raw attack you and don't do anything that you need to resist anything for. So probably half the time he's not gonna have his strongest passive, which I found a problem with that. So that's why he's dropped down under Abel and Makoto. Next up is I guess it's Beast Zangief. Got his super going right there, which is pretty cool. He's more of an offensive type of tank because he gets the speed and everything else, like you see, like the bonuses, and also increases his team speed. So again, there's no such thing as a perfect tank for everything. Everybody has a different fit and everything else, but if you want to go speed team and you want to go wind speed, because wind basically is themed around speed, then you definitely want to go with Beast Zangief. Over here on his passive, when the battle begins, each point of extra speed grants the fighter 0.3% reduction, stacks up to 30% and lasts to the end of the battle. You see right here, increases his speed again, which increases his damage resistance when the battle begins. Each point of extra speed grants the fighter and other wind faction teammates 0.4% and 0.2% damage reduction, and stacks up to 40% and it lasts the entire battle, which is good for wind and everything else like that. But damage reduction scales off of speed, which is very situational, so you need to put somebody else out there as well who will scale with the speed or to give you a speed buff. So I think there's only one other character that does that. And you know, he got super armor right here and stuff like this. So this is your speed tank right here if you want to go speed blitz into PvP and stuff like that. Works out pretty good in PvE as well. So you have the homie right here on Blanka, who's balanced. He's not really a tank, but we're going to talk about him because he gets lightning counter and gains electrify when the battle. When losing electrify stacks, an ally fighter receives electric shield that blocks damage equal to 10% of the fighter's max HP for 10 seconds. This is annoying when you fight him and he shields somebody else. Prioritizes the fighter without an active electric shield. So it basically can happen multiple times, even though it doesn't last that long, but it can happen multiple times. So he'll end up shielding other people. Like in PvE, when you fight Blanka and you're seeing that characters aren't dying right away when you're doing good damage, is usually because the stupid ass shield is cutting on. So yeah, but for the most part, this is what's the most annoying thing about him right here, what that does, because it's gonna electrify and kind of like chain stun and all that good stuff. He also gains super armor right here, but again, he's more of a bruiser and attacks on the 1 and 2 combo. So, you know, keep that in mind. You can actually have him behind on the electric team, like behind like Makoto. Him and Makoto would be super annoying because he'll be shielding Makoto. On top of that, same thing with E Honda and Scion if you want to do that as well. Just a thought, it's the idea for you. So E Honda some will say would probably be one of the best tanks. Some would say that. He has damage sharing, and he gives the damage sharing, which damage resist rate goes up to 30%. Damage sharing does not scale, so it's just going to be 30%, and that's it. You can get things in the game that will help damage scaling, but we do not have that right now in the game and global. Over here is his passive. E Honda gains desperation when his HP is less than 20%, triggers in intervals. It's alright in my opinion, but when I see an E Honda, I'm just trying to kill him before he shields, before he throws his stupid shield out. That's all I'm really trying to do at the end of the day. You see the duration, he gets this bullet wall right here. That messes up anybody who shoots any fireball. Like, he's just straight, it just does nothing. And as you can see, and it's not like it absorbs, it's going to block an attack straight up. So if it's a combo attack, like with Guile's archer arrow, it straight deletes that. If you send out Matt Ryu's special, he just gets rid of that. It's like, it sucks. So what you need to do with Ihan is kill him before he actually does this stupid bullet wall. Next up we have Zan. You can see right here. My problem with Zan is literally when he does that, while he's in the air, everybody behind him can get hit. He gets super armor, he gets, you know, extra damage on the based off his defense with the scaling. So the more defense on him, the bigger that he is going to hit. And if you throw a really good defense build on him and have high defense scaling, my man's do some big damage. Just gonna put that out there. Level 2 increases super armor, and then landing base strike has 25% chance to actually stun, which is when he lands, when he does this, it can stun when he does that. So far, he's the only character in the game that can taunt, and you literally have to use the one to actually do that. The fighter's defense increases by 10% for 8 seconds. That does scale, which is good for him, stacks up to 5 times. Using the fighter has a 100% chance, base chance to taunt, so is what it is. When it gets to level 3, it gets pretty good. Red Cyclone reduces the flame, Thunder Soul damage taken by 20% upon the battle lasts for the entire battle. And as you can see, it goes up. And then once you get to level 4, while Zangief is present, all allies receive this damage reduction, which is pretty good. You got to get the level 4 and everything else like this. But again, his major weakness is that. And you're gonna notice how much that sucks. When the skill is in the position 2, the combo chain will be activated. I don't know why I read that. This is normal. Charges up the heavy palm strike on the nearest enemy, dealing damage equal to 1,380 defense and dispel on a debuff. So here's the major thing about this. This skills off of 2 things. It skills off of defense, and it skills off of whatever your total HP is. So you see, restores HP equal to 100% of the damage dealt. So defense is going to actually determine how hard this actually hits and how much HP you get back, and then increases restore HP by 100% of defense dealt. The skill damage does on level 3 1,518%. That's a lot. So when you get a good defense build, which is what I'm pushing towards right now, and everything else like this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change out of Makoto and then change into him, because his defense scaling is crazy once he gets to this point. But you need, like, you literally got to get him to like SSS plus for all of that to really make a difference. It don't really make a difference right now going into the game. So just to let you guys know, because it looks good on paper, but in the beginning it's not good. He's one of those guys that once he gets to end game is going to be a major problem. Moving over, that's fine. We have the homie Charmin Dudley, who is also balanced. Charmin Dudley, as you guys can see, he's more of a bruiser type of thing, and what he does is once you get the black rose mark, as you see, when a target has the black rose mark, 20% of the healing it receives is transferred to Charmin Dudley. So he's kind of like just a transfer type of tank, which is pretty good. I like the way he looks. Like his whole fit. That's like lit. I wish that was like his base. Like if that was his base, people would rock it. Like he would have people trying to like look at his drip, all this type of stuff. People would be on that. Same thing right here. So he gets damage reduction and stuff like. He is annoying when you fight him. He's just really annoying. And then you have like the passive right here, Charming Punch. Does 492% attack. The problem with him though is that he scales off attack and not defense. So you notice when you fight him, he pretty much goes down quick. He's going to take some of the healing, but you can just wreck him pretty quick. So he's just literally supposed to be a bruiser, like second and third type of thing like this. But you can put him as tank if you want to. Next up we have Hugo. Hugo is an interesting character because Hugo basically is a heal tank. Everything is, he's going to get a shield, as you can see, based off of 10% of the max HP for 8 seconds. So he basically is going to scale mainly off of his HP, restores 1% of max HP every second. So you just want to stuff him with much HP as you can get, much gear as you can get. Again, all of this is based off of his HP, so he's one of the characters right now that's in the game that's going to be based all off of that. If you want to just rock him and have a little bit of fun like that, he's okay. And he's okay with Scream Push. You know, up to you if you want to go along with that. Pretty interesting right here with his level 2. Once it gets to level 2, recovers 6% of max HP each stack of potato. So you have to actually do the potato basically, and then he's going to consume the potato and transfer to all other teammates, and then you see each stack increases the amount of healing received. So you know, it's pretty much healing and, you know, HP. Very interesting tank, so on and so forth. And I believe we just have Dudley right here, and then normal Dudley right here. Now, normal Dudley is more or less, he is balanced too, but he's more or less about the DPS, and I'm just showing him because he's more of like a stun type, and he has a counter attack right here. Counter attacks after dodging, dealing damage equals to 460, and you know, this pointed out there. I wouldn't use him as that. I would just use him as a comboer, to be honest, but you could if you are looking for that, if you like Dudley. And then we have Fashion Blanka, who most everybody is going to get eventually. And you see what he's doing right here. He has like the flame attack. He is more of a action tank, but he has some interesting stuff and a 1 and 2 type of thing. He's more of a combo type of tank, and as you can see right here, he gets scaling to 1 defense up % for 12 seconds whenever wildfire is lost, stacks up to 12 times, so he's gonna get basically 60 on that. So that gets scaling, and then he gets scaling on attack as well. He's the first tank and the only tank that actually does stuff like that. And then you have this, so he's pretty much just, for the most part, like your fun AoE type of tank type of feel, which is kind of similar to what Makoto does, and he does have the scaling as well. So if you want to actually throw him out there, he's a good replacement as well for a tank. Now, the reason why Makoto is my go-to, number one, this jumps in the air, striking the opponent multiple targets within range 4 times. And the reason why this is so crazy is because she gains the chi focus on top of that, and on top of that, when she gets stronger, she gets the bonus on that. Now, the best way to tank something is not to be hit by something. When she drags them across the field like that, she can't be hit basically unless they special out of her. And if you get the first initiative try, you're gonna get the special because you get the super bar because you get the initiative. So technically you get what's called Oki, because you get the bar. You get Oki that's not really Oki. It's kind of like superficial Oki, but you get advantage. You basically get advantage over the whole thing, and you're pushing the entire opponent across the screen with you, which means they can't do anything. Your team is actually building bar behind you and starting your special, which allows me, if she is getting hit by something, if she's getting hit by the third person, Elena is the first combo to come in. So Elena is getting rid of the damage that she's already getting hit with off the bat. Then whatever my second and third is, they're unloading on the team while they're getting up from her basically punching them in the face. Now you combine that with what Chief Focus actually is. When being attacked or hit, 20% chance to gain 1 chi flow and triggers an interval. Now what chi flow basically does is increases the defense by 100 plus 6% for 30 seconds. She's always going to get hit by something, so that's always going to be scaling up. Like you're going to notice chi flow just fly up, like the stacks just fly up, and the faster, I mean the more higher that the level gets, the better it is. So her defense is raw scaling exponentially, basically just for doing these her super or her passive. So what you're essentially doing now is going in and pushing. Let me show you guys again what's happening. You're going in with chi focus and going in and pushes up her pushes up her damage. So every time she's doing that, she's hitting harder, and she's gonna be lasting out there a long time and pushing herself into that side, getting hit, which makes her passive go off over here, flow. So you have both her attack and her defense scaling upwards like that. It's not as good as Blanka's is, because Blanka just has like the raw attack all the time that this goes up, and she has to actually actively do something to make that happen. But you should be actively doing that, especially if you go first. So you got a buff tank that basically is like a cannon. It's like a glass cannon that's not a glass cannon. You're basically a glass cannon that's a tank too at the same time. It's ridiculous. Like you're wrecking teams basically. Then over on the first slide, if you actually want to do this, she does a charge uppercut. She goes into chi flow, and then as you can see, gets more stats. And then you notice that she gets flow and focus, basically doing this at the same time. That's like, bruh. Like, bruh. And then I don't really do this one, but it's kind of like more of the same thing. I don't use her for the 2. I usually use Chun-Li or Ryu or Gao for the 2, but she has a chance to actually stun on that as well. So now we're going through all of that. There's a lot of talking and so in practice, you see I'm underpowered for this, but it doesn't really matter because I don't let them fight. I will show you in practice what this means. Alright, so now we're dragged in. Elena is full healed most of everything back. And Chun-Li got wrecked, but that's okay, because we just took most of them out to fight. And now, like, it's just over at this point. So even though I'm underpowered, it didn't really matter because I stopped them from fighting. Makoto says you don't get to play, and I'm going to tank everything too. Again, now we are 19 down, so I'm definitely going to get the multiplier against me now. But it shouldn't really matter because we're going to be on advantage. Again, those of you guys are into fighting, I'm gonna have to reset that. I didn't get the Capri re-challenge. Those of you who are into fighting games, alright, pause a little bit second. Alright, now we got the Capri. I need to get rid of Cammy. There we go. You gotta the Capri, you gotta control her. So what you gotta do is you gotta let her come in, because if she stands in the back, she's gonna spiral out of your face, like, which is what just happened to me. Oh no, it's Guile. No, he's in the back. This still might be okay. Chun-Li's gonna get wrecked again. Now we got all 3. We're good. See? We're good. We're good. Once you fight these guys enough, you kind of get... What's the task? What is this? Who has not won a boxing championship? And Bison. Alright, so we'll do one more. Oh, Sakura is in the back. Sakura is not really the problem. We got to get rid of Abel. No! Why is Abel still alive? Damn it. Yeah, we got him now. Now it's over. Alright. So, literally, like, I didn't want to just tell you and just say, I'm Makoto the best. This dude, like, trust me, I'm literally showing you. Like, right now. Like, you could be underpowered and still just steamroll through. Like, and it's gonna be like that for a little while. I'm pretty much gonna be, basically, I'm fighting above my pay grade at this point because I don't have the breakstones right now. Because I'm not paying for anything, like, right now. I'm just, you know, playing the game, so I don't have the breakstones, the limit break. My character is beyond Makoto right now, which we can take her up to 139 right now. And this is the gear that I have on right now. Also, the reason why I have this gear is one of these came from one of the dungeons. The other two came from me actually buying it in the store. When, you know, the gold gear in the store. Don't ignore the gold gear because it's OP and actually help out your tank like this. So just, like, again, I don't want to just be telling y'all stuff. Also, take advantage of the echo. So even though it's not as good as it is in China, it's still good. When receiving healing, the fighter is healed additional for 12 seconds, so they're missing HP. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It helps her definitely survive a little bit more as well. So that's all I got for you guys. Let me know other things. What I want to do is other forms of a video like this as well, and show you why other things are the way they are. But I need I have Makoto basically built properly, and most of the tanks I can see in the game, I don't have all the DPS built properly, so I'm gonna need a little bit more time to actually do that and actually have something to properly show you. So, you know, bear with me on that. But I will catch you guys next video. That's it for the tank guide. You can use whatever tank you want. I'm just showing you why I think Makoto is the best. So, peace. Thank you, Legends, for getting to the end of the video. We do 3 to 4 videos every day. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be first in notification squad. I love everybody who stops by, and I will see you next video. Peace.